Have you ever had a teacher who told you that you should read your notes over and over, highlight the most important things, the keywords, in order to learn some material? How about if I told you that this technique doesn't work? Interested? Stay tuned to find out. Hi, this is Sebastian Antonovich, and on my 5-Minute Psychology channel, I talk about psychology, I talk about learning, and I talk about your personal development. Today, let's talk about learning, and more specifically, let's talk about retaining the knowledge that we acquire. When I was a student, I remember the majority of teachers telling me that the best and the most efficient technique of learning some new material is to go through it over and over and over. So when there is a chapter from the book that you need to acquire, they would suggest to read it 3 times maybe. Later on, highlight the most important elements, and this way, miraculously, your mind was supposed to retain this information forever, hopefully. Unfortunately, now we know that this technique is not the most effective one. Yes, it works somewhat, but there are so many more advanced techniques and more efficient techniques that perhaps you will consider it the waste of time next time when your teacher tells you to highlight the most important elements. First, let's talk about the origins of this old-fashioned method of reading your notes over and over and highlighting the most important elements in it. The most important aspect, the most important benefit of this method is that it's very reassuring. It's reassuring to the teachers, to the students, and to the parents. It gives you the feeling of achievement. How many times have you read your notes? 7 times. Good. How many keywords have you highlighted? 27. Brilliant. That's the way to go. Not. But this is something that your parents perhaps were telling you. Of course they went well. They wanted you to learn this material as quickly as possible. But definitely that's not my preferred version. Yes, in general, it's a good idea to read your notes once or twice, to highlight some words, but it's the most important thing what you are going to do with it later on, because if you just end up reading it over and over and over, probably you have a chance to acquire 10 to 20% of this knowledge after many repetitions. So the question remains, what is the better way of revising this material? And there are plenty of answers, plenty of possible answers to this question. There are so many techniques you can use, but today I would like to discuss with you one technique that I like very much. And this technique is called recalling. It's as simple as that. So all you have to do is you have to get back in your memory what you read without looking into your notes first. From your memory, try to write down everything that you remembered. All the important dates, all the important events, all the important words, for instance. And then, after you have done that, make sure to get back to your notes and compare what you were able to recall with your notes. Add some details, some missing elements that you feel were important and you missed them. And once you have done that, give yourself a break. Go for a walk. Eat something nice. Watch a film if you want to. And then come back once again to the same material without looking into your notes. Get back in your memory to what you remember. Take these notes once again, but this time from your memory without looking into the older versions. Write down all the key elements, write down all the dates and all the events. Once again, hopefully this time you should be able to note down a little bit more than the previous time. Once you have done that, come back to your notes again and compare, and do it for as many times as you are able to say, hey, okay, I have the majority of the most important information. Now, this is something I like using. This is something I advise my students to use as often as they can. This particular technique has a very important drawback. There is a reason why not so many people use it. Can you guess what it is? Well, it's effective. That's the good thing. The bad thing is that it's not as reassuring as reading your own notes over and over and highlighting only. And this is a problem. This is a problem because it affects the way we see the material, the way we see ourselves. It can create a negative image of yourself in your own mind. You can think, hey, it's the 5th, it's the 6th time when I'm doing it. What's wrong with me? Why can't I memorize and recall all of this information? Well, first of all, nothing is wrong with you. It's absolutely natural that you will forget the majority of information at the first couple of attempts. And it's even more natural for you to feel frustrated. But this is the way your mind is telling you that it's working damn hard. It's actually burning calories performing this particular activity. And it's so much more effective than just going through your notes over and over. Honestly, instead of being exposed to the same material for the nth time, activate your brain, activate your memory, and try to recall as much information as you possibly can. Because honestly speaking, this is what you are learning for. Whether it's an exam, whatever exam, like GCSE, maybe, your A-levels perhaps, maybe you are preparing to a Microsoft Office specialist exam, or perhaps an ITIL exam, or a foreign language certificate. In all of these situations, you will have to recall the information that you have already learned. It's not only about packing your brain with information, it's mainly about being able to use it later on. And this technique, it teaches you exactly that, to practically use the information that you have exposed yourself to. Go ahead and give it a try and let me know in the comments how effective it is for you. And if you are frustrated, remember, it's absolutely natural to be frustrated. Keep on going and tell me in how many attempts you were able to complete your notes to a satisfactory level. I'll see you next time.